Ready? Good morning. Ready. Good morning, everyone. We'll have sports writing today as our next unit of discussion. So this will be, I guess, the last written discussion or written category for discussion. Mm, and the rest will have to be dealing with copy reading and photojournalism and broadcasting. Okay, so again, this can be somehow similar to that of a news and also similar to that of a feature, but of course, its main point is focus on sports. All right. So again, sports writing is more than just reporting scores. It is about capturing the emotions, the drama, the stories behind games. Okay, so like what I told you, it's like a mixture of reporting in news and at the same time featurizing the, the real world, the drama and emotions behind behind the sports. Okay, and not only that, sports writing may not only be about reporting a certain game or a certain sport, but may also be used to feature and highlight sports personalities. Meaning to say, it doesn't need to have a game or an actual competition, an actual um, laro, no? For us to create such sports news. Any person or event related to sports may also be fall into the category of sports writing. Okay, so today we'll explore how to bring sports events to life through words. I guess what differs from that of feature and news for sa sports writing is when it comes to words. Kasi iba ang vocabularies, iba ang template ng terminologies na ginagamit sa sports writing than that of a feature. Okay? So, today we'll introduce you to some concepts ng sports writing and of course emphasizing sa role nito in storytelling and journalism. Okay? But before that, I want you to think about the last game you watched. Yeah. Ako ang last game na napanood ko. On television, pagkatalo ng Lakers kahapon. And last live na napanood namin with Kurt ay pagkatalo naman ng Hinebra for championship uh, last month, no? So, kayo, think about the last game you watched. This may not need, this doesn't need to be a professional sports or professional game, any game actually. What moment stood out for you? What do you think about that? Ano yung moment na tumatak sa inyo or talagang, wow, or nag-stand out? Okay? And how did it make you feel? Anybody? Para lang makita natin what we're aiming for sa sports writing. Anyone? Yes, Benedict?
Um, am I audible po?
Yes, you are.
Ah, yung ini-aim po kadalasan sa mga sports writing na article is most likely action, tapos yung naging resulta, and sorry po. And more on, ano ba yung mga pinaka-highlights ng laro na yun? Like for example, sa basketball, kapag kunwari po is may sunod-sunod na naka 3 points, i-cover po yun ng sports writer and then i-include nyo po sa article yun.
Alright. Pero medyo na-miss siguro ni Benedict yung tanong ko, no? Sabi ko, but that's very true, yung mga nabanggit mo. Yung talaga hinahanap natin, highlights, yung mga may action, and so on. But I was asking, ano yung last game na napanood mo? At ano yung nag-stand out sa'yo during the game na napanood mo?
Ano pala,
Yes, yes.
mali pala ako ng internet. So, yung last game na napanood ko is I think yung ano pa, way back the Olympics po po yung kay
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Yulo po. And
Mm-hmm.
yung nag-stand out po sa akin is yung mga execution niya po ng mga gymnastic moves po. Most likely po nung ano, yung sa floor exercise nga po, which is yung pinaka ano niya, forte niya. And yun.
Alright. How did it make you feel seeing that highlight, yung best moment na yun?
Of course, I was captivated by how smooth the execution is, and during that time, naisip ko na with that level of execution, parang deserve niya yung gold medal po.
Alright, di ba? Hindi ka magtataka kung ba't niya nakuha yung gold medal seeing that execution sa floor exercises na yun and so on. So, of course, aside from being excited and elated, no, you were proud and I'm sure of that. And another one, last na siguro example. Anybody who last watched a game? Yes, Kurt. Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. Diba yung excitement ng come from behind win na hindi lang kayo nanalo but because you rallied through the game, catching up from being behind to having your first lead and then eventually winning the game. Okay, so bakit ko nga pala tinanong sa inyo to? Kasi anything that you watch that made you feel something, yun ang essence na ini-aim natin in capturing sports writing. To give your audience, your readers, that kind of feeling na they usually see kapag sila nanonood ng laro. So, ibig sabihin, kung nanonood ka and you felt that, yung excitement na yun, yung thrill na yun, yung action, yung drama, and it was no less than the same feeling while reading it, then you have a good, okay, an excellent sports writing material. Okay? For our objectives ngayon, so we'll understand the purpose and elements of sports writing and be able to know ano ang different parts, okay, ng isang sports article from the lead to how we end it, okay? Um, and so we'll start now. Ready? Next slide. Next slide tayo. Yan yung next slide ba? Aside from newspapers, TV, and radio coverage or different games have the greatest appeal to a large number of students. I was telling you earlier that sports games I covered in so many ways. Now, TV, radio, newspapers. Now, intramurals, unit meet, and other forms of games, kapag sa campus journalism, these are part of the thrill ng high school life. So, pag kayo naging advisors, yung high school life nila, very important yung mga intrams, mga foundation week. So, as sports writers, it is part of your responsibility to offer to them, okay, in writing, yung excitement and makommemorate nila yung excitement na yon, yung fun na yon, while reading again about the games they watched. Alright? So, that's why sports writing is quite very needed in any school publication. Imagine a school paper na puro balita, puro tula, puro stories, puro development news. Without sports news, it will really seem like a boring one. Kaya nga actually, nasa last page yan no? Hindi dahil list ang sports page, pero kumbaga, if you actually turn over yung front page at binaliktad mo lang siya, makikita mo yung sports na kumbaga para siyang front page din, nakabilang side lang. Kasi, isa rin yun sa unang makikita ng readers before they even open the newspaper. Isa siya sa mag-a-attract ng mga tao para bilhin yung newspaper or kunin yung publication or itago yung publication and open it next for reading. Okay? So, continue. Next. Sports writing is a form of news writing. Okay? An action story. So, this is how we classify it. Sports, especially when it's about the games, alright? It's an action story full with action. Okay? Full packed with action. However, a sports writer does something more than a news writer does. Okay? Medyo confined ang ating mga news writer. But with sports writing, okay, you have the privilege to use these colorful words, sabi nga natin, no, these impactful words with quick tempo, right? Lively and informal style. Unlike, syempre, sports writing, medyo formal tayo, medyo monotonous, right? And more on focus sa information. But with sports writing, sabi nga natin, it's lively, informal, and it centers around the conflict. It centers around the highlight or the peak of the story. So, aside from coverage na from start to finish, okay, meron siyang, syempre, may highlight on the main conflict of the game or the main highlight of the game. Alright, so let's move on. Next. Next tayo, ayan. So, news and sports writing. In news writing, journalist uses short words, short sentences, short paragraphs. Diba sabi ko nga sa inyo, kung minsan, a paragraph sa news writing, one paragraph pwedeng tapos na. Or, one sentence in a paragraph tapos na. Di ba? One paragraph tapos na. One sentence in a paragraph, kung minsan, we can jump already to the next paragraph. Or minsan, 1-2 sentences to max na 3 sentences, okay? Next paragraph na. But in sports writing, the writer has the freedom in his writing style than a news reporter sa news writing. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng mas humaba yung paragraphs mo because you don't want to delay the flow of action, the flow of narration ng drama in sports writing. So, it has more pep and more enthusiasm in that case. So, yun dapat yung tandaan, no? Hindi naman siya news Kaya hindi siya tinawag na news writing on sports. Tinawag siyang sports writing because it's a different category of its own. Sabihin, some styles ng news writing, it's okay not to follow them because it's a whole different category na you can have your own style as long as it's about reporting on the sports or reporting on the game na nangyari. Next slide tayo. Kakagat lang kong sandwich. Can somebody read this, please? Margaret.
News and sports writing. A news reporter is not permitted to write his opinion about persons or events. The sports writer can do this to a certain extent. He can even use slang, which is discouraged in the news page.
Alright, discouraged yan na. Nagkamali lang tayo ng time. Kasi malapit ang S sa B. But anyway, ayan. So, isa pa sa bagay na pwede nyo maging tanong. Pwede ba magbigay ng opinion sa sports writing? Dahil kasi gano'n ang tinatanong, di ba? Bakit? Kasi ang daming bubble sa news writing. Ang napaka-strict, no? Napaka-strict ng pagsusulat ng news na ang daming restrictions. But in sports writing, you can do that. Even the use of slang, When we say slang words, mga balbal na salita. Salitang kanto, parang ganun ang slang eh. Alright? Sa sports writing. At yung slang na to ay syempre sports slang na mga ginagamit. Hindi ko mo balbal eh yung parang salitang kanto na sumut, yung mga ganun mga bagay. No? Pero yung words na ginagamit ay kaiba talaga sa news writing. So let's move on. Thank you, Margaret. You gave me one bite there for the sandwich. Next. Okay, so here are some figures of speech na pwedeng gamitin ng isang sports writer. So even figures of speech are allowed in sports writing. In news writing, no, you don't allow them. Except if it's a sports feature, a news feature. If it's a news feature, then it could contain these figures of speech. But if it's a straight news, no, you cannot use this. But in sports writing, you can. So there could be simile, like Ben Johnson, the world's fastest man, okay, ran, blah, 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 blah. Ran like a demon possessed. Okay. So, metaphor, Jaworski, the living legend, was a tiger at both ends of the court. Sinituki, the San Miguel were all over the court, or San Miguel beermen were all over the court, waving in and out, piercing the hoop at all. Ano ba yung simile, metaphor? Di ko na-discuss ha. Alam niyo naman kung ano yung simile and metaphor. Paggamit ng like, subsimile, and yung or as, yung ganung bagay. And metaphor is direct comparison. While synecdoche is when you use a part of something to represent a game or to represent another one. Was all over the court, like using court. Okay? Piercing the hoop. Diba? Ibig sabihin, yung pinaka-hole dito talaga is the basketball ring. Pero, you use only the term hoop instead of directly saying na you pierce out through the basketball ring. Parang awkward kasi kapag direct talagang word yung gagamitin mo. So, ang figures of speech, pwede kang gumamit ng mga parts para mas magandang pakinggan. Pero you're still referring to the basketball ring. Diba? Parang ang pangit na piercing through the basketball ring at will. Ang common ng word na ginamit. Pero when you make use of hoop, mas maganda yung words na lumalabas or mas metaphorical yung words na ginagamit. So, using climax also, it's God's play. Okay? Very climactic na paggamit ng word na God's play. Parang nothing beats this. Okay? This was James Yap's remark after Pure Foods won over San Miguel in that game that determined Red Bull Barraco's opponent in all Filipino finals. Examples ito ay OPBA teams pa, no? Sorry. Pero again, sabi ko nga sa inyo because this was from a textbook ng on-campus journalism. But anyway, we're just capturing the importance ng figures of speech or how figures of speech function in sports writing. Next slide. Alright. So, characteristics of a good sports writer. Can somebody read this? Adrian?
Characteristic of a good sports writer. Number 1, must have nose for news and has interest in all sports. Lahat ko po ba?
Yes.
Okay. Must know the rules and regulation. Must have a working knowledge of the language and jargons of sports writing, usually referred to as sports lingo. Should avoid cliches, tired old phrases.
Okay, thank you. So these are good characteristics that you should avoid if you're aiming for sports writing. It means you have a nose for news and has interest. Ibig sabihin, meron kayong pandasa pang amoy sa magandang pagbabadika ng sports at sa lahat ng sports. Ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng mahilig lang kayo sa basketball or maalam lang kayo sa basketball. Yun lang, sports writer ka na. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng sports kailangan mong pagpauna ng pansin. it means you have to have a love for sports in general, not just a single sport. Also, you must know the rules and regulations then. Kasi you are reporting on what's happening there. And sabi ko nga sa inyo, you can give commentaries. So, dapat alam niyo yung rules and regulations. Kung magsusulat nga lang si Kirk ng balita ng laban ng Hinebra, baka sabihin ni Kirk na ang daming mga uncalled fouls o mga uncalled fouls during the game that would have turned over the situation or the game, di ba? Tama ba, Kurt? Alright, or accept. Ayan, yung mga ganong mga bagay, kasi pwede mong sabihin na yung mga ganong mga tawag na could have given it a lead or advantage, right? Uh, to the team that lost, yung ganong mga bagay. So you must also have a working knowledge of the language and jargons of sports. Hindi ka meron kang love for sports, may alam mo yung rules and regulations, that's it. Because you're not using ordinary words or everyday lingo in sports writing. There are jargons, there are sports lingo na kailangan nating isama, incorporate in sports writing to make it compelling and to make it a good sports write up. So also you should avoid cliches or tired old phrases, mga nakasanayan ng mga salita na luma na, no? Luma ng kasabihan. Avoid them. Pero if you cannot avoid naman, if there's a need needed to express it, then you can naman siguro kung kailangan talagang masabi, or if it will make the article more familiar or mas magiging familiar yung mambabasa with that phrase, then nothing stopping you naman. But if you can avoid them, baka nung puro cliches na lang sinabi mo lahat, diba? Try to avoid them when necessary. Next slide. Okay, yan. Sports writing tayo. Guidelines for good sports writing. What should our guidelines be? Next. Alright. When you write sports, syempre, you have to take down notes and don't trust your memory. Kasi, details ang hinahanap natin dito. So, talaga sulat ng sulat. Or if you can record it, diba, mapanood mo siya later on, kung hindi siya live reporting, then you can do that. Report the reaction of the spectators. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang yung pinapanood mong laban or pinapanood mong laro ang kailangan mong makita. Even the spectators. Kailan sumigaw ng Hinebra? Kailan natameme ang crowd ng Hinebra? Ganun mga bagay, no? Yung mga boos, yung mga moments ng ganyan. Kailan na-silence ng kabilang team ang cheer ng malakas na cheer ng kabila. Even yung mga ganung moments, sinasama natin siya sa sports writing. So, imagine, yung audience lang naman, pero part sila ng sports news. Because, again, sports writing is about reporting the drama. And kasama sa drama yun, no? Yung nagrarally yung crowd, sumisigaw sila, nagtayuan sila, nagpalakpakan, at even the moment na natamimik sila or natahimik sila, napaupo sila o biglang nalungkot, yung ganung mga bagay, kasama yan sa sports writing. Okay, so at some point in the game, ay sinasama natin siya, yung mga reactions na to, but this is secondary. Siyempre, pinakamahalaga pa rin the game itself and yung happenings within the court or within the playing area. But, syempre, as part of the drama, you can use it secondarily, yung reaction ng crowd. So, excite also your readers kasi part din sila ng crowd, di ba? Na nagbabasa nga lang. Don't devote the entire sports section to just one game or just one sport. Kapag sa publication, bigay ka ng variety. Normally, kapag sa mga school paper, 3, 4 yung lumalabas sa mga sports write-up in the sports page. So, read a lot and learn how other sports writers practice their craft. Next slide tayo. Okay, so writing the sports story. Here's the lead, okay? At anyway, bago tayo magsimula dito sa lead, I guess it's just right to remind everybody na ano bang ginagamit nating structure sa sports writing. Most of the time, okay, most of the time, it's the inverted pyramid pa rin na structure. Siyempre, pinakamahalagang parts pa rin yung nasa itaas. Hindi siya yung play-by-play na sunod-sunod from point zero to the last end game scores. Parang balita pa rin siya na inverted pyramid pa rin yung ginagamit natin. Yung most crucial information will be part of the lead. Hindi siya parang feature na kailangan meron ka munang hook or meron ka munang narration, tsaka pa lang yung mga information, nasa gitna yung mga information. So, it's still leaning towards news writing as far as structure is concerned. So, meron kang lead, meron kang body, pero meron kang conclusion. Para naman siyang feature na merong concluding part. These are additional background or lesser details similar to that of news writing. Okay? So, you have to ensure that your readers get the most important details first. Okay? So, halimbawa sa isang football match or soccer match, yung lead would state the final scores and key players kasi yun yung pinakamahalaga sa sports writing, no? So, followed by a detailed account of the game's progression or yung play-by-play per part of the game, alright? So, how do we craft the lead? Una-muna, syempre, before this, the lead is, of course, vital. It's very important because it's what we use in grabbing the reader's attention, right? So it should answer, again, the who, the when, what, where, why, how, similar to any other news. Also, as far as explanation is concerned, we emphasize the importance of ng strong lead natin in engaging the audience, okay? When we're explaining the who, what, when, where, and why, or why doon sa ating lead, okay? Na we have to emphasize yung how to engage the audience. Example, halimbawa na lang the Kings, Sacramento Kings na lang, parang Eugene Kings. The Kings clinched the championship. Yan, may championship sila. Ano pa ba huling championship ng Kings? Mga early 2000 pa ata. Or title, as the championship title last night with a 3-2 or 4-3 victory over sino pa din ang kalaban. Basta ganyan, something like that. So, that's part of the lead. You mention sinong nanalo, ano yung scores, saan ito nangyari, sino kalaban, saan nangyari. Normally, ganoon ang mga leads ng ating sports game. Okay? Example na ay basketball. But, of course, there are different types of leads. So, first, dito yung number one natin, okay, sa lead part, meron tayong example dito, which is the classic 5Ws. Ito yung minamention ko sa inyo kanina. Again, it's the attention getter. It's the news in a nutshell. Kumbaga, ang sa sports kasi kailangan mo talagang malaman. Alright? Sino nanalo, sino kalaban, ano score, saan ito nangyari, best player, something like that. Okay? So, the rest ay details na lang, possible naman napanood na nila or papanoorin nila in replays. But yung lead, kaya meron tayong classic 5Ws as our lead type. Una nating lead type, okay? Again, it answers the who won, against whom, anong score, kailan, yan, nakalimutan ko sabihin, importante rin yung kailan. Or if importante yung saan, we can also mention that. Example, San Mateo Blazers poured 10 baskets in the last 10 minutes to edge out Rodriguez unit. Okay? Rodriguez Unit 1, 65-63, that's the score, at the opponent home ground yesterday afternoon. Okay, so apat pa nga yung nabanggit dito, no? Pati yung where. So, opponent's home ground, nabanggit din siya. So, classic. Ito yung usual na lead. Okay, kaya siya tinawag na classic 5Ws. Next tayo. Okay, key play. We can also use a lead na key play ang ginagamit. So, ano yung key play? Yung pinaka nagpanalo. Okay? Can you please read the example? Para makakagat ulit ako ng sandwich. Anybody? You can read the example. Naku, ayaw niyo kong pakagatin ng sandwich. Kurt, sige.
The key play. The National High School Sluggers bombed the Roosevelt Batters with 6 runs in the third inning to subdue a nerve-puzzling Roosevelt's rally 14-12 as they clinched the invitation game here in connection with the celebration of Roosevelt Foundation Day.
Okay. So, as understandable, ano yung nagpanalo dito, no? Sa National High School Sluggers. Nagkaroon sila ng 6 runs during the third inning. Kumbaga sa basketball, during the third quarter, parang ganyan. 6 runs, ibig sabihin, 6 goals or 6 na pasok. Alright? Sa isang to subdue a nerve-puzzling Roosevelt's rally na 14-12. At 14-12, kumbaga, nagkaroon pa sila ng 6 runs para maubura yung abante na yun. At manalo sila. Okay? Yun sa competition na yun, or sa game na yun, during the Roosevelt Foundation Day. Mapapansin nyo, nandun pa rin yung ibang W's. Hindi naman como key play lang, wala na ibang W's. Pero, the main highlight ng lead natin is mas nagpo-focus siya dun sa ano yung pinanalo. Okay? Hindi po ba hulid yan? Kasi the National High School Sluggers. Yes, unang word na makikita mo dyan yung who. But it doesn't mean that it's already a who lead. Because the entirety of the lead focuses on ba't sila ba nanalo? Ano ba yung ginawa nila? Anong main part ng game yung nagpanalo sa kanila? And that's about the 6 runs they did during the third inning. Alright? So, let's move on. I hope that's clear to everybody, no? Classic 5 W's, and then we have the key play, and we also have the analytical approach as the lead. Lead pa lang tayo, ha? So, the outcome of the game, okay? The game is the result of a particular key play in action. So, analytical, nag-a-analyze ka, ba't sila nanalo? Right? So, medyo pareho rin siya ng key play, pero yung key play kasi is yung actual na nangyari sa game. Sinasabi mo lang kung ano yung nagpanalo. Pero analytical, you're even explaining how the key play contributed to the winning. Okay, so, riding high on sizzling spikes and trickly placing, the Banabam Netters blasted the Doña Pepeng high killers in the crucial third set to win 15-10, 11-15, 15-7 in a mini district meet August 10 at San Mateo Elementary School Quadrangle to celebrate the Thanksgiving. So, hindi lang siya yung specific key play ang sinabi. Kumbaga hindi, inanalyze mo paano sila nanalo. By riding high on sizzling spikes, may mga spikes sila, quickly placing, okay, nagpe-place, this is volleyball, okay? The Banaba Netters blasted the Donna Pipin sa third set na. Okay, so may mga spikes, tapos may mga set siguro, sinaset yung mga plays, tapos makakapag-in sila ng score. Okay? So, analytical siya. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya yung kung anong part lang ng game yung nagpanalo. Kung hindi, ano overall yung reason bakit nanalo itong certain team, you're analyzing that and you're giving it out to your readers, then that's an analytical approach to the lead. Okay, so I hope that's clear to everyone. Next. Yan, body tayo. Okay, in the body, okay, after the lead, the other elements in descending order, kasi kung sabi nga natin inverted pyramid tayo, no? Would follow. And this will include team standing, decisive plays, and best score of the day. So, syempre, these are information pero hindi yung nakasulat dito yung order, ha? Hindi ito yung order, pero ito yung elements. Pero dapat naka-descending order sila, ibig sabihin, kung, depende sa game kung ano yung descending order dito, ano ba mas importante. Baka naman mas importante yung best score, or baka importante yung decisive play, or baka mas importante yung malaman ng tao, or mas importante para sa mga tao yung team standing. Kasi halimbawa, merong malalaglag, hindi ma-eliminate. So, pinaka-importante yung team standings, di ba? So, these are some important elements. At, meron pang kasunod to, alam ko. Next nga muna. Ayan. Yung progress of the game and quotation. So, ito yung mga elements. Pero these are not in order. Hindi ibig sabihin huli yung quotation. So, yung mga, balik tayo sa slide. Okay? Yung mga team standing, yung decisive play, yung best score, yung game progress, yung sunod-sunod ng pagkakapanalo, and some quotations. These are elements na mag-a-appear sa body. This will be included in the body. But of course, depende sa game na nangyari o sa outcome ng game, kung alin yung uunahin nyo sa mga elements na to. And they have to be in descending order. Uunahin nyo yung pinakamahalaga, papaliit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, alright. So, halimbawa, mas mahalaga o pinakamahalaga yung decisive plays kasi crucial din eh. Alright? Crucial yung game. So, mas mahalaga yung decisive play kaysa sa team standing. Uunahin mo yung decisive plays. So, i-arrange mo lang siya into the most important, papaliit. That includes the body. So, again, team standing, pwedeng individual standing, pwedeng group standing, team standing. Decisive plays, most crucial part of the game that gives a certain team the winning margin. Yun yung key play, tinatawag natin key play. Kung importante yan, it can be the number one in the body. Best score of the day. The score usually appears in the headline and the lead, pero the writer must not neglect the top scorer of the day. Best scorer yan, hindi best score. Alright? Yung scores kasi nandun siya sa lead, di ba? Kalimitan nasa lead siya. Never siya nawala talaga sa lead. Kahit anong uri ng lead mo, dapat naroon kang score kasi yun yung isa sa mga pinakamahalaga talaga. Pero kung salbawa, yung best scorer, parang record-breaking siya, no? Or pinakamataas, ganyan, o may na-break na record. Kung iyon yung sa tingin yung pinakamahalaga, that it can also include the best scorer sa top. So again, is one of the elements, pero it's still up to you to decide kung alin yung mga mauuna dito. Right? Next. Next tayo. Ayan. So, yung progress of the game, syempre, mahalaga din yung part ng body. Normally, yung progress of the game ay nasa gitna. Wala pa ako nakita na progress muna ng game, tapos saka pa lang yung mga ibang elements. Kadalasan, pwedeng mauna team standing, pwedeng mauna yung decisive play, pwedeng mauna yung top scorer, then progress of the game, and then quotation. Dun sa naunang tatlo, yun yung, for me, in my experience, reading sports news, and at the same time, writing sports news, yung tatlong mga nauna kanina, sila yung kadalasan nagpapalit-palit ng pwesto kung ano yung mauuna. Tapos kadalasan, yung progress of the game yung nasa gitna. And then, most of the time, last time din yung quotation. Pero na lang, kung yung quotation na gagamitin mo is in support doon sa best scorer. Alright? Or in support doon sa decisive play. Kung merong quotable quote about the decisive play na kailangan mo i-insert, then mapupunta rin sa gitna yung quotation. Kung talagang importanteng mabasa yung quotation na yun in support and in reference doon sa other elements na nabanggit mo. Okay? So basically, again, uulitin ko, these are the elements that you can find and you have to find in the body if they're available para sa isang magandang sports article. But you just have to arrange them accordingly kung ano yung mas nauuna in descending order, syempre. Are we clear with that? For this body ng sports? Okay, thank you. And next. Ayan. Types of sports stories tayo. What are different types of sports stories? Yan. Advanced story. Sometimes called dope or prognostication, it builds up enthusiasm for coming events, and it may be a straight news, background story, or prediction story. Syempre, we know what advance is, hindi pa nangyayari, you're announcing something, so no need to explain that. Nabanggit na rin natin ito ng mga types of news nung nasa news writing pa lang tayo. And of course, coverage story, on the spot coverage of an actual game or event. Kino-cover mo yung game all throughout at on the spot mo siyang ginagawa. On the spot, kung broadcast ito, live, pero coverage pa rin siya mangyayari kung the next day pa lang siya publish pero nandun ka mismo, well, on the spot habang nangyayari yung game. That's still a coverage story, no? Kasi yung iba, hindi sila naging coverage kasi kumuha na lang sila ng information, nagtanong na lang sila, nag-interview sila para malaman nila yung game. Then it's not a coverage kasi hindi ikaw yung nag-cover. Pero kung nandun ka mismo sa game na yon, on the spot siya or you're covering the actual game, that's a coverage story. Tapos, paghaluin natin, advanced coverage includes information about upcoming events in the first part, yung parating na event, and at the same time, formation of the past event in the last part of the story. So, halimbawa, series siya. Championship. Siyempre, meron ng naunang game. Right? So, advanced coverage is, ibabalita mo yung upcoming na game, kailan ito mangyayari, ano yung dapat asahan, ano mga dapat naman kapag advanced coverage. Siyempre, sasabihin mo yung nangyari before, di ba? Yung last game na natalo itong kabilang team na to. So, ang magiging essence ng advance doon is, papaliwanag mo sa mga tao or i-inform mo yung mga tao na, ay, napakahalaga ng game na tong darating na to sa Sabado kasi it's a do or die. Parang ganong sense, no? Do or die, magiging do or die yung game na sa Saturday dahil nga natalo sila no nakaraang game. Tapos, pwede mong sabihin na kailangan mag-step up ng import or kailangan mag-step up ng mga main players, okay? Para sa game na to, dahil last game, medyo hindi naramdaman yung kanilang presence, ganung mga bagay. So, ganun yung advance. Hindi mo lang siya i-announce na may game sa Saturday, pero kasama ng pagiging advance coverage niya is, meron kang pagpapaliwanag ano yung mga dapat i-anticipate, ano yung mga dapat i-check or tingnan sa darating na game in reference or dun sa nangyaring past game, no? Kasi merong epekto yung past game dun sa next game, especially if it's a series, no? Yung series like championship series or semifinal series and so on. Nagkakaintindihan tayo sa advanced coverage. Alright, thank you, Kurt. Now, let's move on. Ayan, let's talk about examples of sports terms. Okay? Yes, Margaret. To sound more authoritative and convincing to the reader, sports writer must have a full stock of sports language. So, napakahalaga nito actually. Kahit gaano ka kagaling magsulat, kaano ka kaganda yung pagkaka-arrange mo ng balita, kahit gaano ka ganda yung lead mo, or yung structure talaga flawless, very organized, okay? Yung sunod-sunod, yung order, ang ganda. Pero kung wala kang ganong knowledge on sports lingo, sports jargon, ganun din. Hindi mo masyadong mabibigyan ng justice yung sports write-up na sinusulat mo. So, appropriate terms must be used for each game and for each situation. Minsan, hindi lahat na kung basketball lingo to or volleyball lingo to, gagamitin mo na lagi. Depende pa sa situation kung ano yung terms na ginagamit. May mga ganun pa kasing mga terms right? So, ito yung medyo focus natin, medyo pag-aaralan natin. Kasi, for the structure, hindi ko na masyadong finokusan. Hindi ako masyadong nag-focus doon kasi, sabi ko nga sa inyo, whatever the style is ng writer, hindi siya ganun ka-strict like news writing. Kaya nag-suggest lang ako ng mga possible content ng body na kailangan yung ilagay. But then on, your style nyo sa pagsusunod-sunod nito, okay, ay Nakadepende on your style. Okay? I just gave you suggestions ano yung mga pwedeng unahin. Okay, next. Ano tong mga sports lingo na ito? Ayan, sport. To sound more authoritative, the following sports terms or phrases are commonly used. Ayan, yung phrases na to win by a big margin. Okay, lamang. Kapag phrases when you want to express to win by a big margin, yung nanalo ng tambakan, ito yung mga phrases na pwede mong gamitin. Battered. Diba yung battered, parang kinawawa, binugbog, ganun yun eh, sa term natin. Pag ginamit mo sa news writing yung battered, talagang literal na nambugbog yung maiisip mo. Pero sa sports, battered ay ginagamit natin to, parang hinambalos, binugbog, diba? To signify na yung nanalong team ay nanalo sila by malaking lamang or talagang kumbaga bugbog nga eh. Okay? Battered, clovered, crushed, humbled, okay, overwhelmed, overpowered, rooted, swammed, ripped, walloped, pulverized. Dinurog pa, no? Pinulbura pa. Ganyan yung mga terms na pwede mong gamitin kung talagang nanalo yung isang team o isang player by a large margin, by a huge margin. Okay? Another is when you want to express winning by 1 or 3 points. Ibig sabihin, yung muntikan, yung clinching siya, para bang kontian lang yung lamang, yung medyo tsambahan ng kaunti. Shaded, edged, naduluhan. Ibig sabihin parang naduluhan ka lang. Nipped, nosed out, eked out. Ayan. So, hindi ko na i-explain bawat term, kung saan sila pinanggalingan, ano yung saan galing yung mga words na to, bakit naging ganun yung mga terms. You just have to really be familiarizing yourselves sa mga terms na to if ganito yung sitwasyon. Pag large margin or huge margin, or kapag dikita ng lamang, ito yung mga dapat yung gamitin words, okay? Hindi nyo pwedeng pagpalitin. Bawat 20 lamang tapos ang ginamit mong team shaded kasi naalala mo na, ay parang may term na shaded before. Hindi yun, no? Pang maliliit na lamang lang tong word na shaded. Yung parang naliliman mo lang ng konti. Ibig sabihin, natakpan mo lang ng konti yung kabilang team. Yun yung pinaka, yung nip, di ba? Parang kumurot ka lang ng konting gano'n, o nakurutan mo lang gano'n. Edge, sabi ko sa inyo, naduluhan. Sabi ko, di ko i-explain, pero na-explain ko ng konti. Anyway, just familiarize yourselves with these terms, no? Next tayo. Alright, to defeat a champion. Kung tinalo mo yung champion, ito very epic to nung 90s or early 2000 pa to. Di ba, hindi na to alam ni Shot kasi baka di pa siya pinapanganak noon. Nung ang time na number 8 sa seed ang Ginebra. Ibig sabihin, dulo-dulo sila, kulelat sila. Tapos, defending champion ang Top and Tex, parang Mobiline pa ata ng ang team ni Asi Taulaba. Tapos, natalo ng Ginebra nun yun. Tapos, umiyak si Taulaba. Doon nagsimula yung term na iyakin, ganyan. Kasi, champion yung tinalo nila. So, ibig sabihin, na-disqualify nila yung champion, last year's champion, na would have made it to the finals again, di ba? Pero tapos ang tumalo pa sa kanila ay kulelat na team. So, when you defeat a champion, pag napatalsik mo yung champion or defending champion, here are some terms. Dethroned, toppled, turned the table, overthrew, overturned, wrested the crown, bagged the title, captured the title. So, yung mga terms na yan, no? Siyempre, yung mga past tense or future tense niyan, or paggamit mo ng tenses, depende na yun sa sentence mo, no? To remain the champion, if kapag naman defending champions, kept the crown, retained the title. To give the opponent a 0 score. Sabi, hindi mo lang nakascore yung kabila. No? Blanked, whitewash. Ayan yung mga term na yun. Kadalasan ito kapag sa mga mayroong mga sets or may mga innings, no? Rounds. Yung mga part na hindi talaga nakaka-score, kadalasan ginagamit to. Sa basketball naman kasi madalang yung never nakascore sa buong quarter. Okay? So, pwede rin naman, for example, whitewash the opponent in in 5 minutes, 5 minutes na hindi nakascore, pwede mong gamitin yung term na yan. Basta ito yung terms na talaga ginagamit kapag yung kalaban ay naka-zero, di man lang in-score, di man lang nagkaroon ng chance na makascore. Also, kapag naman tie or same score, ayan, ito yung mga other terms na ginagamit. Hindi puro tie, lahat na lang ng term na ginamit mo sa balita mo, puro tie. Anong pwede mong gamitin ng terms? Draw. Ayan, di ba? Pantay, sabihin walang lamang. Deadlock, deuce. Sa badminton, deuce ang ginagamit. Tie. Okay? To describe a setback. Sabihin yung nakakalungkot na pangyayari. Kagaya niyan. Halimbawa, defending champion, syempre, tas natalo, heartbreaking yun. Or stinging, crushing, devastating, costly error. Halimbawa, yung mananalo na sana, tapos biglang nagkaroon ng turnover, tapos unforced turnover pa, nabitawan ng bola, no, na outside. Okay? O kaya naman sa volleyball, yung nag-over, no, over the line, nag-outside yung bola. Tapos kumbaga, very crucial yung point na yun, no? Tapos nagkaroon ng error. Yan. So, that's a setback. That is heartbreaking. That's stinging. That's a costly error. Ganung mga bagay. Okay, sir. I hope naging familiar kayo sa mga terms na to. Wait lang. Wait lang. Ay, continue tayo. Next. Ayan. So, I want somebody to read the following, ha? Rest ako konti. Ingay. Anybody who would read the terms? And Lars. Yeah, thank you so much, Lars. Sige, Lars. Continue ka.
Asan po sa progress of the game ba, ma'am?
Yung PowerPoint, yung terms na ginagamit natin.
Wait lang po, di ko masyado narinig po kanina yung kwento.
Magtaas ka kasi ng kamay. So, I was asking kung sino pwede magbasa nitong mga terms na to that we can use.
Okay. Sorry po. Sige po. After the lead and the other elements in descending order follow this.
Sa slides tayo.
Naghahang po kasi yung laptop po eh.
Okay, sige. Is it okay if I
Naghahang po yung laptop po. Yung iba na.
Right. No problem. Can I call Rima instead? Nakita ko yung kamay ni Rima kanina.
Lahat po ito, ma'am, no?
Yes.
To describe a hard-fought victory, unexpected, resounding rallied, come from behind, marathon move, ding-dong, or seesaw battle. To describe the best players, aces, best standouts, stalwarts, mainstays, hopeful, sentinel. To describe players' strong points, fleet-footed, cat-quick, southpaw slugger, counter-puncher, road-runner, hard-driving, body puncher, and speedy mighty might.
Hindi niyo naman sinabi. Sorry, nagsasalita ako. Sorry. Next slide tayo. Akala ko na wala na si Kurt. I was already about to message. Hindi kayo gumagalaw. Next slide na tayo. Sabi ko pa, palitan niyo na kaya yung 30%. Sorry naman, hindi ko napapansin. Kasi nga sa cellphone ako nakatitig for the slides. So, hindi ko na nakikita yung chat box. Kasi wala na sa laptop ko blank. I don't know why. Okay. Next. Ginagamit ko lang yung laptop for the camera. Ayan. So, some short terms for different games naman. Kanina yung for situations, ngayon for different games. So, iba pa yung iba ang shot or iba ang goal, iba ang wins or terms, depende sa game. So, minsan, hindi natin sila pwedeng palit-palitin, okay? Sa sepak takraw, ba't may sepak takraw dito? Kasi kadalasan ng game sa DepEd, sa mga presscon, sepak takraw yung pinapag-game sa kanila. Una, siguro dahil madalang naman nagba-badminton doon. Tapos, yung mga mas tipid sa spaces, marami akong presscon na divisions, regionals, okay, sometimes in nationals, madalas talaga nakukuha yung sepak takraw. Kaya aralin yung sepak takraw, baka kapag nag-school publication advisor kayo, tapos lumaban kayo ng presscon, baka sepak takraw din yung sports na papapanood. So, here are some terms for sepak takraw. Headbutt. Kasi inuulo yung yung bola. Yung yantok ang tawag doon. Basta yung pinaka-ball doon. Inuulo siya to make it cross the other line. Headbutt, tekong, apit kiri, okay? Apit kanan, bicycle kick, banana kick. Right? So, medyo mali origin kasi ang sepak takraw. Kaya yung mga terms na makikita natin ay of Mali origins din. In tennis naman, best of 3 matches. Ayan. Wait lang . Ayan. Best of 3 matches, surfeit, services, straight set, singles, smash, cut volley, ace, fault, error. And some other terms na ginagamit. So, next. I won't explain the terms na okay. Kasi, kapag as sports writer, kayo na yung mag-aaral niyan. But yun ang tawag sa mga, for what situation tinatawag itong mga ganitong mga terms for these sports. Track and field or athletics, discus, shot put, high jump, standards, flop, pole vault, long jump, triple jump, sector, hammer throw, javelin throw, heaved, a shot put, hop step and jump, Grecian disc, and the rest. For golf na medyo madalang naman, eagle, bogey, birdie, 18 holes. For boxing, knockout, uppercut, right cross, duckling, slipping, hitting below the belt. Like boxing divisions also, flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. Alright, there you go. So next. Next slide. Next. Hello. Yan. Okay, for basketball, field goal, foul, quintet, alley hoop, dunk, traveling, backing, goaltending. Yung quintet, yan ba ginagamit yung quintet? Yung starting 5. Diba 5? 5 sila. 5 kambal. Pero ginagamit siya as term. Yung word na quintet. Yan, backing violation, goaltending, rainbow shot, layup. Ayan. So, So, bowling, some terms ay 10-pin, frame, bowler, kegler, spare, strike, duck pin. For volleyball, you have toss, spike, net, libero, three touches, netters, blockers, spikers, tossers, netball. Okay, next, chess, castling, en passant, capture, check, checkmate, stalemate, touch, move, opening. Okay, next. Soccer, some of the terms. Babasahin ko na lang muna, ano. Masyado tayong hahaba pag in-explain natin isa-isa tong mga to. Goal, your job is, tingnan nyo isa-isa yung mga terms na to para lang mag-familiar kayo. Paano kapag soccer napuntang game during the ano ba itong mga terms na pwede kong magamit? And saan ko siya pwedeng gamitin, no? Goal, penalty area, goalkeeper, goalie, fullbacks, halfbacks, wingers, free kick, corner kick, offside, banana kick, heading, tackle. For swimming, tankers, naiads, aquabelt, breaststroke, freestyle, butterfly, flippers. For fencing, you have thrust, launch, EP, foil, saber, flesh, balestra, parry, beat, feint. For taekwondo, axe kick, advanced 45 kick, chins, pin weight. Ayan. Next. Ayan. So, color your words also. Mga pwede mong gamitin pang words. String of solid play. Yung mga ganon. Sabihin, sunod-sunod na ang gaganda ng plays. Pasok lahat ng mga pasa and shots, diba? Poured in 6 of his 12 points in the fourth quarter. Instead of sabihin mo, scored 12 points in the fourth quarter, di ba parang mas colorful yung statements or yung expression pag sinabi mo, poured in, ibinuhos niya. Right? Yung kanyang 6 points, 6 of his 12 points, kalahati ng 12 points niya, ay sa fourth quarter niya ibinuhos. Right? So, rallied to trim the margin instead na nakahabol or yun nga, humabol, di ba? Rallied to trim. Sabihin, nabawasan yung margin o nabawasan yung lamang. With a comfortable 40-point cushion. Ano yun? Pwede mo naman sabihin na they were up for 40 points. Okay? Or lamang ng 40 points. Pero with a comfortable, ibig sabihin, kahit parang di na sila mag-shoot, ano, di ba? Imagine 40 points yung hahabulin ng kalaban. Yung cushion na yan is para kang nakahiga sa, okay, I'm comfortable na, hindi ako masyadong stressed out, something like that. So, these are colorful words na pwede mong gamitin. Para mas maganda yung expressions. Kasi nga, sa sports writing, we need more colorful statements like these. Bailed us out in this game. Okay, naipanalo, okay, nailaban hanggang dulo. Boosted their morale with a victory. Okay, what else was this? Pocketed second place. Buckled down to work in the second set. Okay, some terms to use to make colorful words to use kapag nag-represent tayo ng situations in the games. Next. Ayan. Other colorful words, finished with 8 markers. Yung markers scores yun Ayan. So, completed his heroics by nailing his free throw. Diba? Pwede namang sabihin, he made his free throw shots or he converted his free throw shots, kanyang mga bagay. Pero, kumbaga, nailing, ginamit pa natin yung word na nailing and then completed heroics. Strong up 4 points to push the jewels within 6. Sabihin, nagsunod-sunod ng 4 points para mapaliit yung lamang into 6. Halimbawa, siguro 10 yung lamang nung una, no? 81-71. Tapos, sunod-sunod yung 4 na puntos na yon, naging 6 na lang yung lamang. So, you can use this expression kapag ganun na nangyari. Nearly blew the huge advantage. Ito naman yung humabol, di ba? Nakahabol, tapos munti ka ng manalo pero natalo pa rin sa dulo. Kaya nearly blew the huge advantage. Shattered the hopes of the Eagles. Bounced back after disappointing loss. Kumbaga, last game natalo, tapos ngayon biglang nanalo ngayon, di ba? So, yung word na bounce back. Instead of saying, despite losing last game, they won this time. Diba? Parang napaka-boring nung expression. Pero if you use bounce back after disappointing loss, mas colorful, mas maganda yung datingan ng mga salita. So, there you go. Next. Ayan. Final task na pala to. Pero, ito hindi ko na ito ibibigay sa inyo kasi final task ko to dati. I'll give a different one. Okay, ito ay final task kung ito ay yung live face-to-face natin. Kasi maising task lang to. Pero this is not good for an output na ipapapasa ko for May 5 to May 22. Starting May 5, pwede na kayo magpasa ha. This should have been an output if it were a face-to-face kasi maiksi lang to eh. But I'll give you a different one. So just wait for that, and then I'll send it again also sa GC, like how I gave the editorial and feature output instructions. Okay, so I guess that will be it for today. It's 10:59, so you still have 30 more minutes. We can end the discussion now, and you can prepare for your next class. Do you have questions before we end the meeting? Questions? Yeah, stop the recording now. You may stop the recording.